Welcome to the second episode of our podcast, which I'm tentatively calling The Spinning Beach Ball of Death. Brought to you by the good folk at progressbar.com.au. I'm your host, Etoini Ngalwafe, and let's get started with some news. First up in the news, Good Game hosts Stephen O'Donnell and Stephanie Bendixson, better known to gamers as Barjo and Hex, conducted an Ask Me Anything on Reddit after their weekly show aired on July 9. Fans of the show were encouraged to jump online and pose their questions. Barjo and Hex are pretty good sports and answered a couple of questions from how the show production schedule works to some pretty random questions like whether Kerry O'Brien would ever host Spawn Point. Good job, Internet. Good job. One of the most interesting answers given was whether the current hosts were still in contact with Junglist, the former host of Good Game. It's a perpetual curiosity that's stuck with fans, and Barjo even acknowledged that its longevity had a lot to do with the confusion when it happened. And now a follow-up to one of our stories from last week. Justin Carter, the League of Legends player who you probably remember was actually charged with making a terroristic threat over Facebook, has actually been reunited with his family after an anonymous donor paid the $500,000 bail set by the court. Don Flannery, Justin's defense attorney, confirmed that Justin has been out on bail since July 11. However, Justin's woes don't end there. He will appear in court later on to answer for his charges, which carry a potential 10-year jail sentence. We'll be keeping tabs on this story as it develops, and we'll let you know how the trial progresses. Rockstar have dropped a new trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5, showing gamers what they can expect in September. The video game is set in Los Santos, described as a sprawling and satirical reimagining of modern Southern California. Rockstar are promising a number of tweaks, including on-the-fly switching between the three main characters during missions. At the end of the trailer, they even teased the game's multiplayer, promising that more details about Grand Theft Auto Online would be coming soon. And finally in the news, gamers are set to descend upon Melbourne for the inaugural PAX Australia exhibition. The event was started by Penny Arcade webcomic creators Jerry Holkins and Mike Kraholic, and has run successfully over a number of years in Seattle and Boston. PAX Australia represents the very first time that the expo has even been held outside of the US. And the good folks at Progress Bar have got you covered, with a brand new tab dedicated to news and interviews coming out of the famed expo. Also, you can check out Brendan's article online on the best ways to get around Melbourne for PAX, and drop us a line if you're attending this year. This is a new segment that we're calling Save Screen, and it's a space for us to showcase some of the great content that's floating around the interwebs. First up is for the Animal Crossing fans, and that includes me. Here is a wonderful video from the PBS Idea channel on YouTube that wonders whether you can come up with a theory of citizenship just based on being an otaku. Here's a small preview.
So for the longest time, Animal Crossing was on what my friend Matt calls a Lucille list, things that I do not understand and won't respond to. I thought Animal Crossing was a boring, simplistic, silly game for kids, and I was wrong. So for the uninitiated, in the new AC game called New Leaf.
Now, what I love about this video, apart from Mark Renetta's energetic fervor, is the idea that a narratively absent game might at its heart have something significant to say about politics and even governance. He even goes as far to suggest that Animal Crossing might criticize capitalism itself, here represented as the Pokemon series. It's wonderful stuff, and you really need to check out the video. Finally, if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend the feature article from Patrick Stafford, which is published on Polygon, where he manages to track down the elusive actor of John Marston from the mega hit Red Dead Redemption. It's kind of fitting considering the big buzz that Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 5 is getting. It's a touching story of a struggling actor who kind of lands in the voice recording booth at Rockstar because of a series of coincidences, and, he hasn't got any experience with video games at all. Rob Whiteoff would then go on to gift gamers one of the most iconic and well-known voice and motion captured acting performances this generation. It's a well-researched article, it's comprehensive, and it's a portrait of a man looking for peace, much like the character he ended up playing. I highly recommend the video interview with Rob that's embedded in the article as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Spinning Beach Ball of Death. I think the name is kind of growing on me. You can get more information on these stories by checking the video description below, and make sure that you join us on Facebook and Twitter to share your thoughts with us, or even whether you're on board the hype train for Los Santos. Goodbye for now, and if you're going to PAX, we'll see you there.